The California sun shone brightly over San Francisco's financial district, reflecting off the mirrored facades of skyscrapers and the immaculate display windows of exotic motors. Michael Lawson adjusted his custom-made Italian tie while watching one of his employees meticulously polish the hood of a vibrant red Ferrari Roma. At 58 years old, Michael had built his reputation as the premier luxury car dealer on the West Coast, and his Ferrari dealership was the ultimate symbol of that empire. "Gary, is that Lamborghini that arrived yesterday already in the system?" Michael asked his newest salesperson, a 26-year-old young man eager to impress. "Yes, sir. I just updated the inventory and marked it as you suggested. Pre-qualified buyers only." Michael smiled, satisfied. "Excellent. Remember what I always say. We don't sell cars, we sell exclusivity," Gary completed, repeating the company mantra. The morning proceeded as usual. Calls to VIP clients, a tech couple from Silicon Valley examining a limited edition model, and Michael constantly checking that every detail of the showroom was perfect. His clinical eye for identifying genuine customers was almost legendary in the industry. "It's a matter of presence," he often told newcomers. "Those who can truly afford a Ferrari carry it in their posture." A few kilometers away, Stephen Curry was leaving the Golden State Warriors training center. After an intensive shooting session, he opted for a casual look: faded gray sweatshirt, loose training pants, and a cap pulled over his eyes. The NBA star drove his discreet black Toyota SUV through the city's busy traffic, leaving his cell phone on silent mode. It was his assistant coach's birthday next week, and Curry had discovered his mentor's passion for Italian cars. He wasn't planning to buy a vehicle today, he just wanted to gather information about a specific model to potentially surprise his friend later. Parking a few blocks from the Eviguripo dealership, Curry decided to walk the rest of the way. No bodyguards, no personal assistant, just him, anonymous under his cap, enjoying a rare moment of privacy. Upon entering Exotic Motors, the cold air conditioning contrasted with the heat from the street. The showroom was nearly empty, except for a well-dressed couple being treated like royalty by one of the senior salespeople. Curry walked slowly, hands in pockets, admiring the Italian engineering displayed in every curve of the gleaming vehicles. Michael immediately noticed the visitor. From his glass office, he frowned while observing the casually dressed black man reverently touching one of the display models. With a subtle gesture he had practiced for decades, he indicated to Gary to deal with that one, while he attended to a supposedly important call. "Can I help you?" asked Gary, approaching with visible reluctance. "Yes, I'm interested in the SF90 Straight Ale," Curry responded politely. Gary raised his eyebrows. "That specific model starts at approximately $500,000. "I understand. The performance specifications are really impressive," continued Curry, demonstrating genuine knowledge. "I read about the hybrid system." Before Gary could respond, Michael emerged from the office, commercial smile fixed on his face. "I see you're admiring our showroom," he interrupted, sizing Curry up from head to toe. "These machines are true works of art, aren't they? Perhaps we could direct you to something more suitable to your possibilities." The tense silence that followed was broken only by the sound of Sophia's heels, the young administrative assistant entering the showroom carrying documents. Her eyes widened upon recognizing the visitor being treated with disdain. "Mr. Curry? Stephen Curry? From the Warriors?" Sophia's voice trembled slightly, her eyes wide with genuine recognition. Silence took over the showroom. Michael Lawson felt his stomach sink as the man in the faded sweatshirt smiled gently, removing his cap. "Yes, that's me," replied Curry with a modest nod. The well-dressed couple being attended to on the other side of the showroom immediately turned around, whispering excitedly. "It's really him," the woman whispered to her husband, already grabbing her phone. "Oh my God, I can't believe it," Sophia continued, professionalism momentarily forgotten. "My younger brother has all your signature shoes. He watches every game. Would it be too improper to ask for a selfie?" "Not at all," replied Curry, positioning himself next to the young woman for the photo. Michael watched the scene unfold as if in slow motion, his face gradually turning pale. 18 years building a reputation in the luxury market. And now, this. Forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes, he quickly approached. "Mr. Curry, what an absolutely unexpected honor." Michael extended his hand, exuding rehearsed charm. "I sincerely apologize for not recognizing you in this casual look. I'm Michael Lawson, owner of Exotic Motors." Gary remained a few steps behind, looking physically nauseated. "You mentioned interest in the SF90 Straight Ale," continued Michael, gesturing energetically. "Please, let me show you our VIP area. We have models that aren't even in the main showroom." Curry, maintaining the composure that characterized him both on and off the court, politely agreed. As they headed to the exclusive area, Michael launched into a frantic monologue. LeBron was here last month, left with 2 vehicles, and Klay Thompson, great connoisseur of engines, always comments that nobody understands Ferraris like we do. In the luxurious space at the back, amid strategic lighting and Italian leather armchairs, Curry finally spoke. "Actually, I was interested in the Straight Ale's specifications for a gift. My assistant coach has a birthday next week." "A gift? Of course, fantastic." Michael practically jumped. "We can offer exclusive conditions, personalized delivery, discreet documentation." His voice betrayed desperation. "We have a special program for personalities like you." Outside, a small crowd was beginning to form. Someone had posted the star's location on social media. "Perhaps we could register your visit?" suggested Michael, already visualizing the promotional post. "A photo for our wall of fame." "Unfortunately, I need to go," replied Curry, checking his watch. "Thank you for your time." At the exit, he turned to Sophia, completely ignoring Michael and Gary. "Would your brother like tickets to Friday's game?" he asked, handing her a discreet card. "Send a message to this number." The door closed behind him with a soft click, leaving behind a deafening silence. Michael stared at the card in Sophia's trembling hands, slowly comprehending the magnitude of the opportunity his arrogance had wasted. Friday morning dawned gray in San Francisco, a thick fog enveloping the skyscrapers like an omen. Michael arrived at the dealership at Ideoti 6:15, 2 hours earlier than usual. Not that he had slept much. His thoughts were agitated by the disastrous encounter the previous day. As the premium coffee machine in the staff room prepared his double espresso, he noticed an unusual cluster of salespeople around a computer. The buzz abruptly ceased when he approached. "What's happening?" he asked, feeling a sudden wave of anxiety. Nobody answered. Instead, Gary turned the monitor toward him. There it was, a 47-second video showing the most embarrassing moments of the interaction with Curry, discreetly filmed by a customer. The caption was merciless. "See how they treat one of the world's greatest athletes when they don't know who he is. Ferrari discrimination. Steph deserves better." How long has this been online? "Posted at 10:48 last night. It already has 4 million views," replied Sophia, who also seemed not to have slept. "It's on Twitter, Instagram, it's everywhere." As if to confirm the gravity of the situation, the reception phone began to ring and didn't stop. Michael staggered to his office, closing the glass door behind him. His cell phone vibrated incessantly. Notifications from Google alerts that he had set up to monitor mentions of his company. Each headline seemed worse than the previous one. The most devastating blow came at 9:07. A call from the regional vice president of Ferrari North America. "Michael, I'm looking at a rather disturbing video." The normally cordial voice sounded icy. "The board is extremely concerned about the association of the brand with this type of behavior. We need an emergency meeting to discuss your dealership's alignment with Ferrari's values." Translation: the franchise was at risk. By afternoon, the damage count was just beginning. 3 high-value model reservations canceled. The VIP client, who was finalizing a $500,000 purchase, sent a formal email withdrawing his offer, directly citing the incident with Curry. "I tried contacting his management team again," informed Gary, looking 10 years older than the day before. The response was the same. "Mr. Curry is focused on the playoffs and has no interest in discussing the incident." At 5 o'clock, Michael gathered his executive team. The crisis management consultant, hastily hired for a fortune, did not soften his diagnosis. "This isn't just a PR error, Mr. Lawson. It's a symptom of a problematic corporate culture. The only way out is a public and sincere apology, followed by real structural changes." Michael shook his head, resistant. "We're talking about a 90-second misunderstanding that was filmed without context." The consultant closed his laptop with a decisive snap. "No, Mr. Lawson. We're talking about a systemic problem that has finally come to light, and the entire internet is watching." 3 weeks can transform an entire life. For Michael Lawson, 21 days were enough to rethink decades of assumptions. Exotic Motors in mid-June seemed like a completely different establishment. Where before there were only gleaming vehicles and sales trophies, now a photographic exhibition covered an entire wall. Diverse pioneers in motorsport, highlighting drivers, engineers, and enthusiasts from all backgrounds who revolutionized the industry. "The second training will be on Thursday," commented Sophia, now wearing a customer relationship manager badge. The diversity team said all employees need to complete the full cycle. Michael nodded, observing the busy showroom. The crisis had surprisingly become an opportunity. The sincere interview he had given to the national sports program had gone viral for positive reasons. A businessman taking full responsibility, without empty excuses or justifications. "I recognize that the treatment given to Mr. Curry was not an isolated incident, but a reflection of prejudices I have cultivated for years," he had said, looking directly into the camera. "And now I am committed not just to words, but to concrete actions of change." The words had been his own, not from the PR department, and actions followed. Mandatory training on unconscious biases, complete revision of service practices, partnerships with youth sports programs in underprivileged communities. Gary, who had almost left the company, found renewed purpose leading the mentorship program for young people interested in the luxury automotive industry. "They come mostly from East Oakland," he explained to Michael with genuine enthusiasm. "They never imagined they could work in a place like this." Curry's foundation had sent an official response acknowledging the efforts, cordial, polite, but maintaining professional distance. Michael understood the message. Some bridges, once broken, take time to rebuild, if they can be at all. That evening, after closing, Michael contemplated the newly framed photograph in his office. His team, visibly more diverse, surrounded by smiling teenagers from a community program during a charity event. Beside it, a simple quote, "Judge less, learn more." The front doorbell chimed softly. A young black man in simple clothes entered, looking hesitantly around. In other times, Michael would have made that subtle gesture for some junior salesperson to deal with that one. Today, he adjusted his jacket and personally walked in his direction, extending his hand with a genuine smile. "Welcome to Exotic Motors. I'm Michael. How can I help you today?"